Good morning, chosen ones. Today, let's talk about healing, not the kind limited to medicine or treatments, but the kind that arises from a sacred connection within us, a connection to divine energy. True healing doesn't begin with the body, it begins within the mind and soul. It starts with faith in something far greater than ourselves. The Creator, the source of all life, isn't distant or separate from us. God's energy flows through everything. It's the same force that created the universe, the same force that gives life to us each day. When we align with this divine energy, we're not just holding onto a belief, we're tapping into a power capable of restoring balance, health, and wholeness. God's energy is always there waiting. The question is, how do we access it? How do we allow it to flow through us, healing us from the inside out? We often look to the physical body for signs of healing through medicine and treatments, but true healing is more than physical. It begins in the mind and resonates within the soul, rooted in a profound belief in a power greater than we are. God's energy flows into all things. It's the same force that created the universe itself. It's the breath of life, the sustainer, and the ultimate healer. But to truly experience this energy, we must first understand belief's role. Our thoughts are not just fleeting moments, they are the foundation of our reality. They shape how we view the world, how we see ourselves, and even how we experience health and healing. If we believe ourselves broken or beyond repair, our bodies respond to that belief. Each thought is a signal to our cells, telling them how to operate, how to heal, and what limits to accept. But chosen ones, here's the powerful part: when we shift our beliefs, everything changes. By choosing to believe in God's limitless power to heal, we can transform. We start seeing our bodies not as flawed, but as deeply connected to the divine energy capable of miraculous renewal. This isn't wishful thinking, it's the foundation of faith. Faith in God is more than hope, it's a soul-deep knowing that divine energy is flowing within us, ready to heal, restore, and renew. Faith isn't something we can force or conjure in an instant. It must be nurtured, grown through surrender. As we release fear and doubt, as we let go of beliefs that hold us in sickness, we invite healing into our lives. This act of surrender is the most powerful step we can take toward healing, letting go and trusting in the divine to guide us into wholeness. Chosen ones, in letting go of our need for control and surrendering our fears, we open ourselves to the infinite healing energy of God. When we trust in God's power, when we believe that His energy can truly heal us, a profound shift begins. Our entire being, mind, body, and soul aligns with this higher truth. It's like tuning into a frequency that resonates with the very essence of life. In this space, healing doesn't just become possible, it becomes inevitable. It is the natural outcome of our alignment with the divine order of the universe. But belief alone is just the beginning. We must also create space to connect with God's energy consistently. And this is where prayer and meditation transform our journey. These practices aren't simply rituals, they are sacred pathways to divine connection. In prayer, we open our hearts, share our truths, seek guidance, and express gratitude. Most importantly, we surrender, letting go of our worries, fears, and doubts, trusting that God's plan is unfolding perfectly, even if we can't yet see it. Meditation takes this connection even deeper. In the stillness of meditation, we quiet the mind and feel God's presence directly. Here, we're not merely thinking of God, we are immersed in His energy, surrounded by peace, love, and healing. This is where the true magic of divine connection happens. In this state, we release resistance, quiet our doubts, and allow God's healing energy to flow through us unhindered. God's energy invites us to shift our mindset from limitation to infinite possibility. It calls us to embrace the truth that we are not separate from the divine, that God's healing energy is already within us, waiting to be activated by our faith. When we embrace this knowing, we unlock a level of healing that reaches beyond the physical. We begin to heal not only our bodies but our hearts, minds, and spirits, returning to the wholeness that is our birthright, the state of divine health and harmony, God's gift to us all. Healing through God's energy requires more than belief. It involves a deep commitment to connecting with this divine power. Prayer and meditation are powerful doorways to the divine, allowing us access to the energy that can transform us from within. Prayer is a sacred conversation with God, a time when we share our needs and open our hearts. Yet prayer isn't simply about asking, it's about aligning ourselves with God's will. When we pray for healing, we are inviting God's energy to enter our lives, to bring strength and peace where we need it most. In this space of surrender, we trust fully in God's energy to guide us through challenges, knowing that His healing power is always present, always available. Through prayer and meditation, we find the courage to let go of doubts, transcend fears, and embrace the limitless healing that God has promised us. Chosen ones, when we enter prayer, we're not begging for miracles. We're affirming that we are already one with the source of all healing. This shift in perspective changes everything. Prayer is not a plea, but an act of faith, a declaration that God's energy is within us, fully capable of restoring us to health. With this mindset, we approach prayer from a place of abundance, not lack. We know that God's healing power is not something to be earned or begged for, it's our birthright as children of the divine. Prayer helps us release the emotional and mental barriers that block our healing. When we're caught in fear, anxiety, or focused solely on our pain, we create resistance in our energy, hindering God's power from flowing freely. But with sincere, faith-filled prayer, we dissolve these barriers. We let go of control, releasing the need to understand everything, and place our trust in the divine wisdom of God. In this surrender, we create space for healing to unfold naturally. Meditation, on the other hand, takes us even deeper into a state of quiet and stillness. Our everyday lives are filled with racing thoughts, worries, and distractions. This mental noise keeps us disconnected from our inner self and obscures our awareness of God's presence. Meditation offers us the sacred pause we need to turn inward and feel the divine energy that is always within reach. In meditation, we're not just seeking silence for the sake of peace, we're creating an inner environment where God's energy can be felt and embraced. In this stillness, we attune ourselves to the gentle flow of divine energy, allowing it to permeate every cell, every fiber of our being. This is where healing truly begins. By calming the mind, we transcend its limitations and step into the vastness of divine possibility. Meditation also allows us to rewire the patterns of our thoughts. Our minds are often filled with beliefs that tell us we are sick, broken, or incapable of healing. These thoughts send signals throughout our body, reinforcing imbalance and illness. But through meditation, we can break free from these limiting beliefs. Focusing on God's presence, we begin to shift our internal story from sickness to health, from fear to trust, from limitation to boundless potential. The power of meditation lies in the connection it nurtures with the divine. When we meditate, we align ourselves with God's higher consciousness, opening ourselves to receive divine healing and guidance. This is why meditation, anchored in faith, becomes a profound tool for transformation. We are not simply sitting in silence, we are tuning into the very essence of God's energy, letting it flow freely through us. Both prayer and meditation are acts of surrender. They invite us to move beyond our limited understanding and rest in the greater wisdom of God. Through these sacred practices, we don't just find peace, we step into a space of healing, renewal, and divine grace. Chosen ones, through prayer and meditation, we open ourselves to the healing energy that's always present, always accessible. When we combine prayer, intention, and faith with meditation, stillness, and presence, we create a powerful synergy, a sacred alignment that accelerates our healing. It's essential to understand that these practices are not quick fixes, they are ongoing journeys that deepen our relationship with God. Over time, they cultivate our connection to the divine, allowing God's energy to transform our lives. Healing in this sense is not merely the absence of illness or pain. It is a restoration of balance, harmony, and wholeness to every aspect of our being: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Through the consistent practice of prayer and meditation, we align ourselves with God's will, inviting divine energy to restore us to the perfect health and peace that are our birthright. The mind is central in this process. Our thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes are powerful forces shaping every experience we encounter, including health and illness. By recognizing the connection between our minds and God's energy, we unlock a profound potential for healing, one that transcends our previous understanding of what is possible. At the heart of this process lies intention, the deliberate use of our minds to focus on divine energy and invite it into our lives. Every thought we think, every belief we hold, sends a signal to our body. Our thoughts don't just passively reflect our reality, they actively shape it. This is why mindset is so vital in healing. When we dwell in thoughts of fear, doubt, or illness, we reinforce these states within us. Our body responds to those signals, aligning with the energies of fear and sickness. However, when we consciously shift our thoughts to healing, faith, and divine energy, we send a different signal, one that invites health and balance. God's energy is always available, but we must attune our minds to this higher frequency to access it fully. This is the power of intention, the focused direction of our mind toward a specific goal. When we set an intention to heal and combine it with unwavering faith in God's infinite power, we activate a powerful process within us. This goes beyond mere positive thinking. It's about aligning our entire being, mind, body, and spirit with the divine flow. One of the most profound ways to align with God's energy is to release limiting beliefs. These beliefs are often rooted deep within our subconscious, keeping us stuck in patterns of illness and imbalance. For instance, if you hold the belief that your illness is incurable or that you lack the power to change, that belief will manifest in your reality. Your mind will signal your body to follow this belief, and in turn, the body will continue to reflect states of illness or disharmony. But chosen ones know that with intention and faith, we can dissolve these limitations. As we consciously choose thoughts of health, wholeness, and divine connection, we open ourselves to God's transformative energy. This energy is always here, ready to bring us back to the state of divine health, balance, and peace that resides within us, waiting to be awakened by our faith and intention. To break free from limiting beliefs, we must consciously work to rewire our minds, for it is in this intentional practice that transformation begins. When we set the intention to release these limiting beliefs and replace them with thoughts of health, faith, and divine support, we initiate a profound process of renewal within. This intention creates new neural pathways in the brain, reinforcing the truth that healing is possible, that God's energy resides within us, and that we are capable of transformation. As these new thought patterns grow, they become dominant, and over time, our body responds accordingly, shifting from limitation to liberation. Remember, chosen ones, that this process demands consistent practice. Just as it takes time to form a habit, rewiring the mind and shifting our beliefs requires patience and persistence. But with faith and determination, These changes in thought eventually manifest as shifts in our physical reality. When we focus on God's energy, we're inviting that divine presence into every part of our being. We align with a higher order, one based on health, balance, and harmony. Another crucial part of this journey is the role of surrender. While intention guides our thoughts, surrender allows us to let go, to trust in God's plan. Healing through divine energy isn't something we force, it's something we allow. Once we set our intention to heal, we must also release control, trusting that God's wisdom surpasses our understanding and that the healing we need will come in the form that's best for us. Surrender removes the resistance that can block divine flow. Fear, doubt, and worry act as barriers, creating tension in our minds and bodies that obstruct the natural flow of God's energy. But when we release these emotions and embrace trust, we open ourselves fully to divine healing. In this space of trust, God's energy moves freely through us, bringing balance, restoration, and wholeness. Embracing gratitude is also essential throughout this process. Gratitude elevates our vibration, aligning us with the frequency of divine energy. When we are grateful for the healing already at work, even before seeing physical results, we amplify the process. Gratitude shifts our focus from lack to abundance, from illness to vitality, from fear to faith. By continually setting our intention on healing, aligning our thoughts with God's energy, and surrendering the outcome to divine wisdom, we create fertile ground for profound transformation. Healing through God's energy is not just about alleviating an illness, it's a restoration of balance across every dimension: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. When we align with divine energy, we return to a state of wholeness, a reflection of the perfection within us. Surrendering to God's will is essential in this journey. Often we approach challenges, especially those regarding health, with a need to control outcomes. We seek immediate answers, definite solutions, and certainty about the future. Yet, life rarely grants these things in the ways we expect. This desire for control can block the flow of divine energy, which is always accessible. True healing emerges when we release the need for control and surrender to a higher power. Chosen ones, in this surrender, we discover freedom. By letting go of our need to understand every detail and trusting in God's boundless wisdom, we allow divine energy to work through us, restoring us to the natural, balanced, and whole state that is our birthright. Trusting that God's will is actively at work in our lives, even when we don't yet see or understand it, is the essence of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, it's an active, conscious choice to trust. It's about loosening our grip on specific outcomes and believing that God, in divine wisdom, knows what is best for us. This trust enables us to release the fear, doubt, and anxiety that so often come with struggle or illness, creating a space where healing energy can flow freely. When we try to control or understand every detail, we unintentionally create resistance in our energy field, making healing more difficult. But when we surrender to God's will, we create an openness where divine energy can work unimpeded. God's plan is always rooted in love and wisdom, even if it doesn't align with our immediate desires or understanding. Surrender is especially vital because sometimes the healing path looks very different from what we expect. We may be focused on resolving a physical ailment or a particular life issue, but God's plan may involve a more profound healing that touches our entire being, mind, heart, and spirit. In surrendering, we step back from our limited view, trusting in God's grander vision for us. We acknowledge, I trust that whatever happens, it's part of God's perfect plan for me. This doesn't mean we stop seeking healing, but rather we let go of attachment to when or how it happens, trusting fully in God's timing. This shift brings peace by releasing the stress that often accompanies hardship. We move into a state of calm, grounded in the knowledge that divine energy supports us at every moment. Surrender also requires humility, an acknowledgement that we don't have all the answers and that not every aspect of life is in our control. In a world that equates control with security, surrender can be challenging. But real security comes from trusting something greater than ourselves, knowing that God guides us even when the path is unclear. In humility, we set aside the ego's need for control and embrace God's infinite wisdom. This alignment with divine flow is where healing happens. When we stop resisting and start trusting, we open ourselves to God's energy, which works through us to restore balance and harmony. We become like a river flowing with the current rather than struggling against it. One of the profound gifts of surrender is that it deepens our relationship with God. By releasing our fears, worries, and need for control, we allow ourselves to feel God's presence more completely. We experience a peace that reassures us we're never alone, that we are always supported by divine love. This connection strengthens our faith and, in turn, our capacity to heal. It's important to recognize that surrender isn't a single event, it's an ongoing practice, especially during moments of challenge. Each difficulty presents an opportunity to trust God more deeply. With every act of surrender, our bond with divine energy grows, allowing more of God's healing power to flow through us. And sometimes the healing that surrender brings may not look the way we expected. We might still face the physical condition or life challenge, but our relationship with it transforms. We find peace within pain, resilience in adversity, or a profound purpose that changes us. This shift in perspective is, in itself, a form of healing, one that reveals the deeper meaning in our experiences. Surrender is not about receiving a specific outcome, but about trusting that whatever unfolds is part of God's plan for our growth, peace, and healing. In this space of trust, we allow God's energy to work within us, guiding us toward the wholeness that is our true nature. This is the deeper healing that comes from aligning with God's will, a healing that reaches beyond the physical to the core of our being. Surrendering to God's will means embracing life's mysteries and trusting in a divine order, even when it's hidden from our understanding. It's about releasing the need to control and allowing ourselves to be guided by the loving presence of God. When we surrender in this way, we create the ideal conditions for healing, not just in our bodies, but throughout every part of our lives. We realize that true healing is a return to wholeness, a natural state always available to us through God's infinite love. Visualization, an essential tool in this process, connects us to divine energy, serving as a powerful bridge between mind and spirit. Visualization is more than a mental exercise, it's a way of aligning our minds with God's healing power. By picturing ourselves in a state of health, balance, and wholeness, we allow divine energy to move more freely within us, creating space for transformation. Our minds are remarkably powerful, and what we focus on with intention often becomes part of our reality. When we visualize ourselves as whole, vibrant, and filled with divine energy, we set in motion a spiritual and physical alignment that reinforces health and well-being. At a profound level, visualization works on the spiritual principle that our outer world mirrors our inner state. Constant focus on illness or fear tends to attract those energies, but when we shift to focus on health, faith, and divine energy, we invite higher vibrations into our lives. Visualization becomes a blueprint, a clear message to our minds, bodies, and energy field to realign with God's design for us. A key to effective visualization is not only seeing the outcome we desire, but truly feeling it as if it has already manifested. Emotions amplify the energy of our thoughts. When we visualize healing, feeling the joy, gratitude, and peace that accompany it creates a resonance with divine energy, allowing God's healing power to flow more freely. It's this combination of clear intention and elevated emotion that strengthens the healing process. Visualization can also be seen as a form of prayer. Just as prayer seeks God's guidance, visualization allows us to actively participate in receiving divine energy. This practice shifts our role from passive recipients to active participants, co-creating our healing with God. We are not separate from God's energy. Instead, we are channels through which it flows. When we face physical challenges, it's easy to fall into a cycle of fear, worry, and doubt. Visualization helps us break that cycle by focusing on health, empowering us to shift from a mindset of fear to one of faith. By visualizing health consistently, we gradually transform negative thought patterns into affirmations of healing. While visualization helps us hold a clear vision of healing, it's also essential to remain open to God's will. Sometimes, God's plan for us may look different from what we initially envision. The healing we receive may not always involve the specific cure we hoped for, but it might transform our relationship with our challenge, bringing peace, resilience, and a deeper sense of purpose. Consistency is crucial. Visualization isn't a one-time event, but a continuous practice of aligning our minds with divine energy. The more we engage with this practice, the stronger our connection to God becomes. This process not only supports physical healing, but also deepens our spiritual understanding, reminding us that we are always in God's loving presence. Incorporating visualization into daily spiritual practice has powerful effects on both physical health and overall well-being. This practice shifts our consciousness from limitation to infinite possibility, reminding us of our role as co-creators with God. Through visualization, we learn that divine energy is ever present, and that, by aligning ourselves with it, we invite healing, balance, and wholeness into our lives. The true power of visualization lies in its ability to remind us of our inherent connection to God. When we visualize ourselves as healed, we aren't imagining something unattainable, we are recognizing the truth of our nature. We are spiritual beings created by God, endowed with the capacity to heal and transform through divine energy flowing within us.